Equality Texas is proud to work with the Montrose Center, the Houston Police Department, and the City of Houston's LGBTQ Advisory Board to address the scourge of hate-motivated homicides. Together, we're here to raise awareness about this new report issued by the National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs called A Crisis of Hate, a report on LGBTQ hate violence homicides in 2017. 52 LGBTQ people were killed in the United States in 2017 as a result of hate-related homicides. This is the highest number in 20 years that the National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs has tracked the information, and an 86% increase in single incident reports from 2016. Of the total number of homicides in 2017, 71% of the victims were people of color. 60% of the victims were Black, 8% were Latinx, 4% Asian, and 2% were Native. And the state of Texas has the dubious distinction of leading the entire country in hate-related homicides of LGBTQ people in 2017, with 7 Texans who were murdered, including 3 in Houston. As a result of the Crimes of Hate report, Equality Texas is unveiling a new campaign to combat LGBTQ violence and discrimination as we redouble our efforts to fight inequality and the ignorance that feeds it. We're calling on Texans to join us in this effort.
Victim Rights Week is really important to us because at the end of the day, that's what brings us to work every day as police officers and law enforcement professionals, whether we're on the front lines or support team. You know, that's what we're all about. And quite frankly, when you look around the country and we see the number of hate crimes against people based on religion and ethnicity, sexual orientation, identification, they're on the rise. And so it's really important this year, I think more than any other year, that we have some self-awareness as a community of this issue of hate crimes being on the rise nationwide, and most importantly, that we be vigilant and that we stand together with communities that are vulnerable communities, and clearly our LGBTQ community is one of those communities.
I transitioned at the age of 17 in high school. I was a really good student. I made really, really wonderful grades, but I still faced discrimination because of my race and gender identity. So when I decided to move off to college, I didn't tell anyone out of fear and shame. I realized after years in college that I had lived 2/3 of my life living in fear and shame of myself. October 18th of 2016, I decided to become public with my story. I shared it on all of my social media platforms, and I wanted to do this to let the world know that I accepted myself. But I did not only do this for myself, I wanted to do this for everyone else who may have felt alone. I wanted people to know that they weren't alone. And so I'm really honored to work at the Montrose Center because the Montrose Center is the nation's 5th largest LGBTQ community center.
We're going to update our policies to make sure that our policies create an environment where everybody feels safe, both internally with our workforce and externally with the community we serve.
And hearing this morning that Chief Acevedo is going one step further than we have been, and something that we have been working on for a very long time, to update the policy here for the Houston Police Department to include gender identity so that transgender folks living here in Houston are going to know that they are seen and respected by the Houston Police Department. This is a huge step for us here in Houston. We haven't had these protections. We have not had this type of recognition from our elected officials and from our law enforcement community here. So having you state that here today is a huge win for the trans population here, and we're really thankful that the Houston Police Department is going to be a leader across the state. Just
about every neighborhood's got members of this community. Just about every family has members of this community, whether they know it or not. So we need to love one another and love people for who they are, not who you want them to be.